All right, we are live and actually early for a change, which is unusual for my usual MO is to start a minute or two late. But anyways, welcome everyone to another edition of Deconversion Stories. And today I'm chatting with my friend Tim, who's also known as Curious and More Curious on YouTube. If you haven't seen or found his channel before, I highly recommend that you do so. I've been following Tim now for, on YouTube, probably, it was before I started doing my show, so had to be at least a year before that. So probably a few years. And just the way you do things is so, like, I don't know, your humor just really rubbed me the right way, I guess. I like this guy. He's got and we always have little comments that pop up beside you and you look up at them and say, oh yeah, well, you know, stuff like that. I just always really liked it and became an instant subscriber when I saw your first couple of vids. So all of you, no worries. All of you right now, go over to his channel. There is a link below, and you can hit that sub button. He's climbing up on 1,000, so I'm kind of hoping we can get him up there, because then you can actually start doing super chats and stuff when that happens. But yeah, like you were saying earlier, you don't really care if money is made off of this. You're kind of like me, but I did a Patreon just to sort of help out paying for some of this stuff that I use and do, right? Yeah. So basically that's what it covers. But
well, like I said, anyway. If I'm making money, it's a job, and that's not going to be as fun.
Yeah, so, right.
And the other thing is I use way too much copyright material that I could not make money off this.
They'd hit you with copyright strikes if that happened?
I always get hit with copyright strikes, and you can't monetize this video. So,
well, you know, if you ever need some music, I will give you permission to use my music in your videos. So.
All right.
There you go. All right. So what I do here, Tim, is I talk to people about their experiences in religious belief, the dominoes that started falling to find their way out, and the journey that they went on from being a believer of some kind to the atheist activists that you and I are both today. So why don't you kind of take us back to the beginning stages and tell us a little bit about that and how you got involved with religion and how you found your way out again and that kind of stuff.
All right. Well, let's start with my folks. Unusual for this channel is that my folks were not religious in any way whatsoever. They didn't talk about religion at all. The only Bible verse that we ever heard as a kid was Ecclesiastes 3:1-8. So that tells you what my parents were like.
What the hell is that? That one's not ringing a bell for me for some reason.
Oh, that one is, and I've heard it enough times. To everything, there's a season, a time to every purpose under heaven.
Right.
Time to be born, a time to die. Time to plant, a time to reap.
Isn't that a song too? Didn't they
that was the Birds. That's where my folks heard it from.
So. And it kind of stuck with them or something, I guess?
Well, that's the only time they ever brought up anything religious.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, at least it's a musical connection, which I can appreciate.
Yeah.
Being a musician myself. But so how did you, because we were talking a little bit before this and you said you ended up being swept into it. So how did that happen?
Well, I don't know. You're in BC right now.
Yes.
I grew up in Ontario. I don't know if the same school system is there, but classes in Ontario, the public schools, would start with the Lord's Prayer and then a Bible reading. And
well, not so much, but
yeah, they'd start off and say, okay, well, I remember grade 5, we started Genesis and kind of worked our way up. Great times. So anyway, I would be inundated with biblical things at school. At home, they'd have Bible cartoons on the local stations. All my friends were religious. You can kind of see where this is going.
Do you remember Davy and Goliath?
Vaguely. I remember nightmares of some kind of monstrous dog, but that's about it.
Exactly. I actually watched an episode or two of that when I was a kid and thought, this is just fucking weird. So I changed the channel over to some regular cartoons.
Yeah, well, they'd have that. They'd have like the Hanna-Barbera cartoons on Sundays, followed by 700 Club. So it kind of roll into that. So
it was the same here.
Everywhere I went, I would get, religious beliefs are normal. Everybody has this. I had all my friends went to church. We just didn't go. That's how it went. And basically, it just kind of built up that, everybody believes this thing. It's got to be true.
Right.
And, you don't think about it as a kid because kids are dumb. And I just accepted that it was true. My folks didn't talk about religion at home, like I said, but they didn't talk about algebra at home either. So it's not like they took me away from it, if you get what I'm saying.
Sure. Yeah.
So
nobody likes to talk about algebra, though. So
I'll ask my wife. I do, but I'm just weird.
Well, being a chemist, I have to use it. So
makes sense. I even went to summer camps that turned out to be Bible camps. So
oh, geez.
Morning was prayer and Bible readings. Afternoon was archery and other camp activities.
Right.
So,
right.
You get that in your head. This is what everybody else does. People can't be wrong. That's how it is.
Until we find out that they can be.
Yeah. Because I had no actual religious training, nothing that was taught to me, just what I picked up by osmosis.
Right.
And in university, I had this crazy idea. I read the Bible, which is apparently what you're not supposed to do. And I got all the way to Moses with the stone tablets.
Yep.
And it kind of hit me that this is kind of odd. God has him go to the mountain, carves out stone, brings it back down. When he's God, he can do anything. He can just show up in front of everybody and say, hey, this is what you're supposed to do. And if you know the timing of the Bible, how it goes, that means I got through Garden of Eden and the Noah's Ark and all that stuff thinking, yep, that's legit. But a procedural error, that's the problem with me.
Right. That's legit. I don't know how anyone could read the Noah story and think it's legit, at least in my mind.
Yeah, because once those cracks formed, well, this part's wrong. Maybe these earlier parts that go against every part of common sense might just be wrong as well.
Yeah.
So previous stories, okay, I'll forget about those. Later stories. None of this really goes with what I understand about science. So I kind of dismissed that. Mm-hmm. But the indoctrination was there. So I still thought, oh, there's got to be some kind of intelligence out there, some kind of guiding force. Where else did everything come from? And then the next term for my degree, I had to take a few things. I had to take some religious studies courses. So I studied all the Western religions, not all of them, but the main ones: Judaism, Christianity, Islam, the Eastern ones, Hinduism, Taoism, Buddhism, Shintoist beliefs. Mm-hmm. I was dating a woman who became my ex, who studied a bunch of Wiccan beliefs.
Yeah, I was Wiccan once myself. I still have the ring, actually, to commemorate that there.
Very nice. And the one thing they all had in common was they had nothing that actually says, oh, this is, true. This is why we believe it. It's just believe it.
Yeah.
And it kind of hit me that, wow, none of these religions have anything to kind of make me say, this is it. That maybe there isn't some kind of deity out there. Maybe there's just nothing to control our lives. Mm. And that's basically my conversion story. Roll credits.
All right, folks. Well, it's been fun. No.
Yeah, I know it's a short story. And then, of course, every movie these days, after the credits, there's a little stinger at the end. That Christmas, I go home to my folks, and I still am under the impression they're believers. Mm-hmm. And I kind of say, well, Mom, Dad, what do we believe, really? Expecting a fight, and go, oh, well, we don't believe in anything. Great. You could have told me that decades ago.
Yeah. But I guess they didn't really have to, because they didn't really took you to church or really talked about it other than the song by the Byrds. So they probably felt there wasn't a need to tell you. They figured you'd just pick it up.
Yeah, I picked it up elsewhere, like every other bad habit a kid gets.
Yeah.
Which is why I made sure I told my kids when they were growing up, this is what I believe. You don't have to believe the same thing, but at least understand where I'm coming from. Mm-hmm. So there we go. And
awesome. So have you taught your kids to sort of research it all themselves? And if they choose to follow something, that's up to them?
I hope I have. I hope they are critical thinkers. Well, my oldest I hope is a critical thinker. And yeah, at least they know where I stand. There's not going to be any surprise. Oh, really? Moments like I had.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, judging, have any of them seen your videos?
Well, I've only my oldest daughter's around now, and she's been in a few of them, so she knows what I do.
Okay. So does she take anything from that to sort of
she takes that my dad is the most embarrassing guy on the planet, and I don't want to have anything to do with him.
That's okay. I felt that way about my dad at one time.
Yeah.
Until he had the big blowout where he yelled at me and I was like, hey, listen, old man, I'm bigger than you. And I held him up against the wall with one arm and he's like freaking out. And then we kind of just didn't talk to each other for a few weeks. And then we went for dinner and it cleared it all up. But yeah.
Well, that's good.
That's I think standard almost for a lot of the males in the families. They always tend to go to blows every once in a while. At least friends that I've had that happen.
Well, then I guess I lucked out because my eldest came out as a woman a few years ago, so I don't have to go to blows for that.
Yeah. Wait. So how long ago was that? Because I think I remember one of your videos where you had mentioned it.
Well, she came out before she was like around 17, but I didn't mention it until she turned 18, just to be respectful.
Sure, of course. Okay, yeah, that's probably right in line with what I figured, anyways. Yeah. So, what happened to what do you mean the oldest is still with you?
Well, unfortunately, my youngest daughter was born with a heart defect.
Oh.
And when she turned 13, she went in for surgery. There was a complication and went into a coma and then passed. So.
Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that, dude.
Yeah.
I had no idea. You didn't. I haven't heard you mention that before. So, sorry to hear that. My condolences.
Yeah, I bring it a few times, but it's not something I go on about very often.
No, of course not. But also, just so you guys know, in the audience today is Tim's birthday, and his other half actually got a hold of me and said, keep him as long as you can because we're setting some stuff up for him. So I guess they want to surprise you with it.
Well, thanks for letting me know, I guess.
Wait, what? Well, you told me she was gonna. You told me she was going to talk to me anyways, I think.
Well, she said she wanted to talk about something. I didn't know what it was.
Oh, and I just blew it. You're going to have to act surprised, and just tell them that I screwed up.
Well, hopefully she's not watching this.
Yeah, hopefully. And if she is, I guarantee you she's going to yell at me in the audience or in the chat right about now. And people are starting to put out the happy birthdays already. So.
All right.
So there you go. Yeah. Wow, I guess I should have thought about that before actually blurting that out. Oh, man, now I feel horrible.
Well, I'll practice my surprise look.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, oh, yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's going to come off as you found out. And then I'm going to get an earful, either in the messages or... well, we'll see what happens. So what drove you to want to start your channel?
Well, I've seen a lot of videos saying, "Oh, this is what atheists believe. This is, why evolution isn't true." And I'd always wanted to respond to it. In school, I'd taken some film study courses, so I thought I might want to put that in as well. I'd like put some use to that, I guess. And this gets back to talking about my youngest daughter earlier. During the funeral, I gave my eulogy. Then my dad gave a eulogy and said she was never afraid to do anything. And it kind of hit me that, yeah, you know what? I shouldn't be afraid. So I've changed a whole bunch of things in my life. And that was in November of 2014. And I just said, you know what? I'm not going to be afraid to do things. One of the things I wanted to do was make a video channel. So got a camera, started writing some scripts, and the following January, I started putting stuff out.
Very cool.
Yeah.
No, hang on. If I remember correctly, I've watched probably 80% of the stuff that you've put out there.
I am so sorry.
No, I told you. I love that shit, man. It's too funny. Hang on here. Let me find something. Because I can't remember what it was that I was going to ask you before. But okay.
Oh, shit. We're supposed to plan ahead?
Well, no. I generally, this is all like, for me, I do these things and it's all like free flow sort of stuff. So let's go back. Hang on here. There we go. Wow. Dude, you got a lot of fucking videos. So I think the first one that I saw, and it actually just popped up as a suggestion, was the 10 questions for every atheist. Now, is that the first video that you made?
That was probably hello. Sorry,
Hello?
sorry, just popped in my lap.
Aw, floofs.
Yep. No, I think that was the first one I did.
Right,
and I found out later. I think that was just like a fake set of questions that another atheist made up, but it was still the first thing I ever did.
Really? Wait,
Yeah.
So another atheist? Because I can't really remember much about the questions myself.
Yeah. It's been years, and my brain is gone.
That's one of the downfalls of getting older, man.
Yeah.
It's the brain stops working. He looks a lot. Actually, is it a he, she, the cat?
This is she. This is Cleo.
Cleo. Okay. Cleo looks a lot like one of my old cats. Oh, I hear purring.
Yeah. Right by the microphone. That's good.
Oh, Cleo's coming to steal the show, apparently.
Well, usually I have to lock the basement before I do these things, and I thought I did. I guess she was downstairs before I closed the door.
Oh, okay. So she's like,
they love attention. They love attacking the tripod when I got that set up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is not helpful if I'm trying to record and it starts bouncing back and forth. Yeah,
no, it's never a good thing. People think your camera people are drunk or something.
Yeah, they are, but that's a different reason.
All right. So if anyone has any questions they'd like to ask Tim, feel free to put them in the chat there. By the way, if you go up to the right, Tim, you'll be able to see two options where it says private chat and live chat, and you can actually see things that are coming up there. So,
oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll be able to see stuff like that. So I tell you, dude, you should, it's another thing you could do. I know you're not all about the making the money thing, but this is sort of a different thing you can do. Like you could do merch. You ever thought about doing merch?
I can't think of anything that people would want to buy from me, honestly.
Just, you could do one in like a pose like this and do You're Curious and More Curious and just make it like a logo or something like that. I have friends that can make you a like mine little logo-y thingy that could do that for you, by the way.
Cool. Well,
if you're ever into doing something like that, you can.
If I ever change my mind and want to make some, flat stacks from this, which is, all YouTube guys are totally rich, right? That's how it goes.
Yeah, no. I know many of them, and they're not. Well, there's a few that make a decent, actually can earn a living doing this, but you're not going to become, Daddy Warbucks if you're making YouTube videos or anything like that. No. So what made you move from Ontario to Calgary?
Well, folks moved out when I was 17, and not like I have a choice. I had to go with them. And since I got to go to high school last year in Alberta, which meant I couldn't get my Ontario academic credit, so I couldn't go to the universities I wanted to in Ontario. And off of me. So I ended up going to the U of C. And then University of Calgary.
Oh, I thought you said the UFC. You're like a fighter.
Oh yeah, with this body, I'm a totally.
Hey, I used to be a judo guy when I was a kid, but
No, I took enough self-defense courses to survive a few seconds, and that's about it before I start getting pounded down.
Yeah, okay. It ended up being the same for me back then anyways. Judo didn't really help me out very much.
Yeah.
Especially when the partners were like twice my size.
Yeah. Anyway, I went to school here. My folks moved back, so I stayed to finish my degree. Mm-hmm. I got a decent job, knocked a girl up, so I had to stay. And that's the one I was telling you about before. Mm-hmm. And, made a life here. That's how I moved.
So hold on. Your previous girlfriend, the one you were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
that's the one you initially knocked up, or
Yeah.
So you have a kid with her as well?
That's my oldest.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And
So,
she lives, or she's still living with you? Or?
no, she's in BC now. Thank goodness.
She's BC. Cool.
Yeah. So off there.
Another fellow prairie raised Canadian. Aaron was my my interview on Saturday. So.
Yeah, I saw that, which is why I knew I had to get Chrome on this thing.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, I wasn't sure if anything else you needed to set up for this.
No, it's basically if you've got the headphones and a microphone or some semblance of a microphone and your computer, you're good to go as long as you're running Chrome. Because this seems to be the best for StreamYard. It seems to work the best with it.
Yeah.
And of course, I did a big blunder with Erin for the after party. I think I gave her the wrong link and she sat waiting for a while and I felt bad about that. But yeah, eventually I figured it out and got her into the after party where she should have been the whole damn time. But I'm dumb and old, so shit happens.
Yeah, well, I can agree to that. It happens to me all the time.
So how's like your channel and the topics that you put? You mostly kind of do reaction stuff.
Yeah.
To stuff that people put out. What made you want to do that rather than something else?
Because I see enough stuff out there that is just making claims about me or making claims that are wrong. And I just want to, clear that up. And I might as well have fun while I'm doing it as well.
For sure.
Like you can just throw a message in the bottom saying you're wrong about this and here's why. But this is a fun way to do it. It's very
absolutely.
Easy.
I agree. It's one of some of my favorite videos are the ones that are reaction videos because those kind of make me chuckle, I think, the most out of all the ones.
See, you run out of steam for about 20 minutes with me. There's not a lot to talk about.
Well, no, that's not it. I'm just seeing if I'm just checking the chat, see if anyone's got any questions.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, nobody does. But anyways, dude, what's your degree in, if you don't mind me asking?
I have a degree in humanities, which means I have studied everything and I know nothing. Or I can say that I have a certificate saying that I am a human, and not many people have those.
Wow. Wasn't your birth certificate? No, it doesn't actually say human on the birth certificates. So
no.
I guess that doesn't actually count.
But yeah, I took like basic levels on tons of different topics. So
I never really knew what humanities meant.
Yeah. Well, it usually means like something specific, religion or something along those lines. But I just took a general degree, so it's everything. I got philosophy, history, science, filmmaking.
Oh, cool.
So
I did filmmaking too, but at Vancouver Film School, I actually went in for a course there called low budget filmmaking. I had this dream of grandeur that I was going to make low rent zombie films at one time, and it never came to fruition. I think we started to write a script on one, and I went into the production phase of this and tried to get some financial backers, and nothing really ever panned out. At the time, people were like, nobody fucking wants to watch zombie movies. This is in like the early 90s. So that 80s zombie craze kind of came and went.
So you're just the exact wrong spot for that.
Exactly. And everything at that point was like the Jurassic Parks and all the sci-fi type stuff, the Godzillas and all that. So nobody wanted to put their cash into a low budget zombie film. So I never got to do my dream movie, but that's okay. That's okay. I don't care. But a friend of mine got to act in a zombie movie, or I think it was more of a vampire movie. You're probably familiar with Aaron Ra, right?
I know of him. I was kind of surprised because I saw that you interviewed him, guys like him, and then you want, nerdy McFuckface here instead.
Nerdy McFuckface. You have to use the Mc because it's Canadian, and we have Mcs here in Canada.
Oh yeah, we've got to be, correct about it.
Exactly. I don't think I've ever heard somebody refer to themselves as nerdy McFuckface, but hey.
Now you have.
So I have a question. It's more of a Canadiana type question, but are you a hockey fan?
I wish I was. I wish I could enjoy it. I was put into Little League, whatever the hockey version of Little League is, in for years. Dad loves it. Hugely fan. But I
I'm
could
sorry
not
to
get
hear
into
that.
the game.
No?
Well, from Ontario, so I don't have a choice. But
well, one of my best friends is from Ontario, and he's a fucking Blackhawks fan. So go figure that one out.
yeah, but it did not being a hockey fan actually helped out because to put myself through school, I ended up working at the Saddle Dome at the concession stand. So
Oh, really?
one of those cool guys. And the interview, I said I don't care for hockey, so I won't be busy watching the game when I have to be working, which got me the job.
That's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I guess that they say, "Oh, good, he won't be distracted. He'll actually have a guy that wants to work instead of wants to watch the game."
Exactly.
I'm not fortunate enough to say I ever got to work at any of the hockey games. I was usually somebody in the audience watching the game. But my cousin owns well, they're going bye now because of the whole COVID-19 thing. She figured, fuck it, I'm just going to close the stores down. They've been in the family for generations, anyways. It's a chain of stores called Army and Navy.
Oh,
and my cousin owns it. It belonged to her father, that belonged to his father before him. And
really?
yeah, and the sales have been sort of in the decline for the last decade or so, anyways.
Okay, so this is kind of the final nail, I guess, is the COVID.
Yeah. So she did they're famous for their shoe sales. So she did the one last big shoe sale combined with a blowout sale. So you could go in there and get stuff for like literally 75% off retail price. And she got rid of, I think, over 70% of the stock that she had left, which is pretty impressive. And then they just liquidated the rest of it. And I think all the doors are shutting down pretty quickly. But she always had, what do they call club seats, right? For the hockey games for the Canucks here.
Yeah.
So she'd always hit me up with pairs of tickets all the time. So I'd grab somebody and drag them to a game and made them pay for the beer because I gave them the game. And I got to meet, you're familiar with the Green Men?
No, I'm not. Sorry.
Okay. That's all right. They're kind of like mascot-y kind of guys, but they hang out by the penalty box. This one sits below, one sits a seat above. And every time the opposite team goes into the penalty box, they do all these weird things and make fun of them and stuff like that with their green suits on. You can't see who they are. And they're just too funny. Yeah, that's right, Kay Murphy. Army and Navy is going away. It's shutting their doors for good. I know, because I used to go get nice and cheap camping gear from them all the time. Well, mind you, I got the family discount too. So.
Oh no. Well, that guy in her picture is kind of depressed about that as well.
Guy in her picture.
In Kay Murphy's picture, the guy to the side, the bald one with the beard. So yeah, that's my wife.
Oh. Geez, I should have figured that out.
Yeah.
Hello, Kay Murphy. I'm not sure. Wait, what? She did tell me her name, but I can't remember it off. Katie, that's it. That's right. That's it. That's right. So, being your birthday, what age did you make it to?
I'm 43 now. I've been around the sun over 4 decades. So, yay.
Well, I'm 10 years your senior. I'm 53. I'll be 50 fucking 4 in October.
Ooh.
Yeah. Getting up there. But it's okay. I'm prepared. I've got this just in case. I actually had that because I blew my back out a little while ago and I literally could not stand up straight. So I had to use that to move around the house.
Yeah. I'm not sure what happened. I wrecked mine a couple of days ago. So whenever I try to run, it just kind of says, nope.
You're back?
Yeah.
What'd you do? How'd you do that?
I don't know. I must have wrenched it somehow, but I got on the treadmill one morning and it started screaming at me, get off this thing right now.
Wow. The first time I threw it, I was rear-ended by a little old lady in a van. She was, I think, 92 or something, and she could barely see, and she shouldn't have probably even been driving. But she ended up rear-ending me and sending me right into the intersection. And of course, another car came along and smacked me from the side. I'm pretty much kind of lucky to be sitting here in one piece, and the back went from that, and then about every 5-6 years or so, it seems to be the cycle where I'll do something, move the wrong way, and the first time it happened, I was actually cleaning the behind the toilet.
Ooh.
And threw my back out, and there was
embarrassing
nobody
and
home.
painful.
Yes, embarrassing and painful. Well, yeah, because I literally laid on the floor in pain, couldn't get up until my roommate at the time got home and was able to pick me up off the floor. And that was about 40 minutes.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I laid on the floor there, staring at the dirty toilet, going, yay. But at least there was a stack of magazines there. I think most of them were Maxim magazines, so I was able to read some articles while I was lying down.
There always has to be reading material around there.
Of course. Well, nowadays you can just bring in this and read an article, so
Yeah.
there's no need for the magazines anymore. But yeah, and then the last time I did it, I was at work, putting my work boots on, lifted my leg up and twisted the wrong way and threw it out again. And I just went right home right away.
Oh.
No, IQ, nobody wants to like me on Facebook. I got enough people liking me on Facebook. Thanks very much. So, in your original videos, you're in a different location making your videos. So
Yeah.
what made you change to the location you're currently doing them?
That was just upstairs by the living room, and it was just awkward. I had to wait for everybody to leave on Monday morning because it was my day off.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just move into the corner, record everything, and then move everything out. And
I got you.
I moved down here. It gives me a better place to work. And now that she's working from home, my wife's taking over that corner anyway, so I can't tear it apart.
She said you're killing it.
Well, she's biased as well.
That's okay. We're all biased to some degree, I think.
Yeah.
So had you ever planned on making anything other than like response type videos?
I don't plan to. I just find something that kind of gets my dander up and I respond to that.
Okay.
That's about it. There's a few things like when they had the Manassian killings a few years ago, I just wanted to talk about that and have anything to respond to.
Right.
But mostly it's someone said something and they're wrong. I can't let it go. I that's rare on the internet, people, just letting things go, but
people do that all the time.
Yeah.
Hello, Atheist Roundtable. Speaking of which, I have some other folks, by the way, Tim, that are interested in having you on their shows.
After seeing this, I doubt it.
Well, my friend Chris Mallard runs a show called The Daily Atheist, or it's now called The Damn Show with Daily Atheist Morning Show.
Yeah.
And he has folks on quite often. I'm going to be co-hosting with him on Wednesday and Thursday. Now, I can't remember if he had anyone lined up for that, but I can always talk to him if you want to come and hang out with us. But it's quite early. It's going to be like, 7 a.m. for you.
Yeah, no, I'm working from 6 a.m. on.
Are you? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I start at 5 myself. So, yeah, 5 to 1:30. But hey, you know what? Getting up that early and going to work, there's like no traffic.
Oh, I know. It's great.
Right?
And coming home, it's almost as good. So.
Yeah, and then on the way home, the traffic isn't as bad as it would be at, say, the rush hour time. So, except for today, I was actually much later getting home today because a semi had broken down on what we have here called the Alex Fraser Bridge. So it was backed up all the way down, and I was stuck in that lineup for way, way more time than I wanted to go. Oh, Chris says 9 a.m. Eastern. But you'll be at work by the time we go live anyways. But Chris, this is the problem. I know you have a morning show. If you want guests to come on your show, I guess they have to be unemployed.
Well, like we talked about earlier, most of the YouTube guys are rich and they don't have to work. So
right. That's right. Yeah, but he says it's 9 a.m. Eastern, which our time is, well, for you, I think is 7.
Yeah.
And for me, it's 6. So, but I'm already at work, so I can tune into his show and listen. And I have vacation booked from this coming Wednesday to, I think, Canada Day.
Nice.
And I was supposed to be in Texas at the Faithless Forum.
What? And what's going on with that?
They had a
little COVID thing, yeah.
Yes. So I should be literally in 2 days be getting on a plane to go to Austin, Texas, which would have been awesome because I went last year and it was a blast. And they actually invited me to be on the panel this year to talk on the panel. So I thought that, wow, shit. But I kind of expected they probably would, because when I was talking to, are you familiar with Holy Kool-Aid and Genetically Modified Skeptic?
Vaguely, yeah. I've seen a few of them, but.
Well, both of them told me that they kind of dug what I did here, the way that I do the show and stuff like that. And they think it's a niche that needed more attention to begin with, having people on to talk about these sorts of things. So they told me then that they were planning on asking me. So I kind of already knew, but they said they weren't sure how it was going to go. And then when they finally told me, I was like, yeah, right on. So I was like looking forward to it, but unfortunately it'll have to go to next year. And I think they're doing it in June next year instead. So, but I'll still be on the panel. So if any of you guys are going to go down, you can expect to see me on the panel there. I will be there.
Well, if the borders are open by then, hopefully.
Oh, I'm sure they will be by next year.
Never know.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. We shouldn't. I'm optimistic. It's just sort of in my nature to be optimistic. You know, I'd say something stupid like it's because I'm a Libra, but we all know that that's bullshit too. And somebody just said,
typical Libra.
Yeah.
Dismissing everything.
Yeah. I'm way too nice. Yeah. Apparently you guys saw me on Talk Heathen yesterday, where I was actually quite amicable with the people that call in. I told V that I would go ballistic on people if they said stupid shit, but one guy came in that kind of had this weird thing about DMT and stuff like that. But I managed to keep my cool, and we just kind of went into it as like, well, dude, how can you say anything supernatural if you're under the influence of a drug? Like, seriously, that's just your brain reacting to the drug. So you're not really, astral plane flying or anything like that.
That's like pretty much the same guy that I responded to last week. Had the same option. Put your mind on psychedelics and you'll know the truth. Well, how do you know that you know the truth?
And how can we trust a brain that's on a hallucinogen to actually give us the truth? And that's sort of what was my point. And it's weird because I talked about that with one of the callers on Talk Heathen. And the night before, I was at a barbecue for a friend of mine's birthday. It just happened to be her birthday and her husband's anniversary. Pretty much her birthday was actually the following day, but they did it on the same day. And one of the guys that was there, he'd already had a few, and he came up, he goes, "You look like somebody I want to talk to." I'm like, okay. So we just started talking, and he started going on about all the weird supernatural stuff. And I said, "Oh yeah, I'm very familiar with it. I used to be a witch or a Wiccan or whatever." And he was just blown away. He goes, "Holy crap, there's somebody at a party that I can actually talk to about all this." But he'd start going into all the wooey shit, and I'd go, no, dude, that's not how that works. And then he'd like little tiny epiphanies going on in his head. I think I broke him of the spell of the supernatural. So he replied to me the next day, and he's like, "Wow, I'm looking at this stuff all different now." And I'm like, "Good for you, man.
Nice.
Good to see you found your way out of there." I don't expect that happens every time I talk to somebody, but
you're persuasive. They listen to you once, and then you completely change their mind.
Well, yeah, I like to think that that's a thing, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah, I very much doubt I've changed anybody's mind in what I've done, but at least I've entertained, I hope.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I don't just sub to people that don't entertain me, man. And I just always found your style to be quite unique, and your sense of humor just made me chuckle all the time. So I had to sub when I found you.
Oh well, thank you.
Yeah, it was great, and I think I've been bugging you for a while to come on the show, and finally got you to twist your arm a little bit more. And come on, Jim.
I know you've been asking, and I've been hesitant to do anything live because you can see how I'm doing this. But
you're doing fine.
You helped me out with my video, so I kind of figured I owed you this. So
okay, guys, I did a little thing for him on his video. I can't even remember what the subject matter was now.
Badmouth. I was talking about walking on water and then badmouthing Vancouver, basically.
That's right, people from Vancouver, and I had a little 3.5 second part where it's like, I said, what? Screw you, Tim, kind of thing. And he just added that little clip in there, which is just too funny. What was the name of that one?
I have to go through my list to find out.
Because I can't remember either. But I'll tell you what you guys can do. You can watch a bunch of his latest videos and you'll probably run into it eventually.
It's like 2 or 3 recently.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was a month ago or something that you did it. So anyway. Oh, that's what it was. Hang on. Whoopsie daisy. Hang on. I just realized something here. Running through this. Okay. Hang on here. Where is it? Come on now. The title of it caught me and I never watched it.
Well, that's good. You shouldn't.
Well, no. But I plan on doing it. It's from 5 years ago. So Mad Max. Feminist
that one.
Propaganda. Because it was the Mad Max part that got my attention right away because I'm a big fan of the old movies.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, tell me a little bit about that one. Like, what was that all about?
That was so long ago. It was some men's rights group saying that the new Mad Max is going to be terrible because there's a woman talking to him.
You're talking about Fury Road?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the old ones. I loved the new one. It was great. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of said, you're wrong about everything. Mm-hmm. And it was one of the early ones, so of course it's terrible. So, but it's been so long, I have to think back to what it was.
I tell you what, Tim, I think you sell yourself short when you say that your stuff is terrible, because you wouldn't have 800 people that actually want to hear what you have to say if they were terrible. Let's face it. Yeah. And I've noticed that you've gone up a couple already since being on here. So, did you ever were you ever a fan of the cartoon Archer? I
watched it with my friends. We had what we did. My buddies and I. One of them has done a few cameos in my videos. We always got together on Wednesdays for Bad Movie Night, and then we started watching Archer because they recommended it, and we got through almost the entire season. Or that's series. And then we can't watch the last one now because we can't meet each other's homes. So I'm kind of holding off on the whole space thing.
Oh, the Archer in space, which I thought wasn't their strongest season, but I liked the original ones with all the day-to-day spy stuff. I always thought that was good. But what's his name? Krieger and Pam did a little clip of those two that were going to the premiere or something of Mad Max Fury Road. So they were dressed as the characters.
All right.
Like she was wearing like the guy with the wig and the mask and stuff. She was dressed up as him.
Joe.
And Krieger was dressed. Yeah, that's right. And Krieger was dressed up as the guy with the guitar on the big fucking truck with the speakers. Yeah. and they were saying something like, "Oh, we can't even go to this thing now because all the movie stars are going to be there and they don't have enough room." And he comes crashing through the wall, going, "What is this I'm hearing?" And he's got all his stuff and he's playing the guitar, and it was just too funny.
So I will check that out.
Yeah, I honestly I don't know where you can find it. It's probably on YouTube, but I think it was part of a segment for the Academy Awards or something along those lines, or People's Choice Awards or something, where they do the little segments in between when they give out awards and stuff. Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hold on. You have to watch that afterwards.
I will watch it afterwards. It's just.
Yeah, for sure, because it's just too funny. The two of them are just hysterical. Krieger's, I think, one of the best characters on that fucking show anyways.
Well, I watched the first episode and I thought, this is terrible. I'm not going to watch it. But he's convinced me, okay, just keep going. It gets better. And I got hooked.
It does. Yeah, me too. Instantly. Well, I think after the third episode, I said, okay, now I have to watch the rest of these because he's just too funny. And I think one of my favorite episodes is where he wakes up and he's actually Bob in Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
It's just because it's the same guy, right? So it's so fucking funny. All right, there you go. IQ has put your link in the chat, finally. Oh, Susan, I didn't even see you show up. I'm sorry. I would have said hello earlier. Brainbug is here. Brainbug, I watched your the Lasiodora video that you put out earlier, the transplant of the tarantula from one to the to the next. And I'm not sure if that little interlude that you put in there is actually true, where that's the third largest tarantula species. I don't think they're quite. So I used to have a Chilean rosehair, which is in the same family. So
I have no context for this, and I'm terrified. So,
not a spider fan, are you?
No, not really.
Except for maybe Spider-Man. Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah, it doesn't seem right to have so many.
Well, and many of them, their eyesight still sucks.
Yeah,
right?
But
except for jumping spiders, they have the best eyesight out of all the spiders.
Yeah,
and of course they can jump, right? So which doesn't help. No. I had a pet one. It was beautiful. It was black with a red velvety butt on it.
Yeah,
cute.
In grade 10, I think someone knew I was terrified of them. Found one in the library, put it on my shoulder. I freaked and punched them out. No. Yeah, so I get kind of.
Oh. Okay, I won't bring it up again.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I think something just flashed across my screen. Did you click on something or?
No.
Yeah, weird. Something just kind of popped up, like it was like, remember the old windows that used to pop up when you'd use like AOL or something?
Yeah, I still get those on other things, but.
Yeah. That's what it looked like, but it was brief and took off and then just disappeared. Well, sir, I think maybe we've exhausted the whole deconversion thing.
Yeah, it was a short story.
That's all right. We managed to talk about other kind of cool shit about your channel and stuff like that. What do you got planned for your channel?
I don't know at this point because I found a few things that I want to, respond to, but I've hit the point where they're all asking the same question that I've answered 1,000 times before.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find something new. And I don't just do atheism or religion. I try to add other things. Mm-hmm. You can tell I'm fairly left-wing, so I respond to gay rights, healthcare, stuff like that. But yep. I'm trying to find something new to respond to, and it's hard to these days.
Yeah, it is. I could recommend some channels like my friend Jimmy, who does a lot of Girl Defined videos. Have you ever seen those?
No, I haven't.
They're a couple of blonde girls that are quite fundamentalist, and they give advice to other women about sex-related stuff and that kind of thing. And they're good ones to pick on. And of course,
fundamentalist sex always sounds great.
Until you get into it, right? And then there's like bed sheets between you, and I don't know. At least there was rumors, anyways. I grew up Jewish, so I lived in Israel for a couple of years, and people would always tell me that the Hasidic Jews they weren't allowed to have actual skin contact except for the intercourse part itself. So they had to do it through a sheet with a hole in the sheet. And of course, I believed that for years until I met one, and I was having a couple glasses of wine with them at I think it was Purim, which is the Israeli or Jewish holiday where people dress up like we do on Halloween here, but it's in the springtime. And one of the main things you do on Purim is get drunk so that you don't recognize everyone. And that's part of the reason why they dress up too. And I asked him, and he said, "No, dude, that doesn't happen. We don't have sex through bed sheets. That's stupid." So that myth was dispelled. Which is good because I didn't want to carry, like Matt Dillahunty always says, I want to know as many true things as possible and as few falsehoods as possible, which I can get on board with for sure. All right. Well, what do you say we cut this out a little early?
Sure. Apparently I've got something planned I got to go to in a few minutes. So.
Oh, do you?
I don't know. You said that, so.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Katie. I didn't realize he wasn't aware. I thought, okay, never mind. She's gonna yell at me eventually. But anyways, can you stick around for a little bit longer? Because I'm gonna get into an after party.
Sure, we'll see what we can
do. And maybe stick around for a bit, 10, 15 minutes, and then go and have your cake and eat it too and all that stuff. Because, that's what we do on birthdays. Try not to burn the house down. I mean, you're 43 now, right? So
yeah. Wine, bed by 9.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, Tim, man, thanks for joining me today, dude. It's great that you finally I've been kind of excited to talk to you because I'll admit it. I'm a fan of your work, dude. So it's great when I get to talk to some people that do what I consider to be good jobs at what they do. And you do. And you're funny. You come across as well educated. So
the lying works.
I did add the caveat come across as. So
Exactly.
And you're a fellow Canadian, and that was even more pleasing to
Yeah.
me. So, yeah, Theo, you're right. It is bad enough bugs in general can fly. Yep, even cockroaches. Yeah, I know. Those things are gross, but I'm a big bug fan pretty much. But anyways, if you jump in, I'll close this one down and give you a new link. I'm going to go have a quick cigarette and take a pee because this is the second one. And like I always say, you don't buy beer, you rent it. So I'm going to go and expel some of that, and then I'll send you a brand new link and you can jump in. And
Cool.
Katie says no problem, by the way.
I see that. Yep.
Okay, so we'll jump in there for a bit, and then you can take off whenever needed because it's your birthday. So you got to do the birthday thing, and let's be honest. Eventually, the birthdays pile on, and you don't really remember them. So, so it's good to get the fun ones in while you still can. If anyone wants to jump in with Tim and me, just let me know through Twitter Messenger or Facebook if you don't follow me on Twitter and you do on Facebook, and I'll send you a link and you can jump in and join us. Tim will probably be sticking around for a little bit anyways, but it is his birthday, so we have to be gracious and let the poor guy go eat some cake and have a beer and open some presents and stuff like that, because that's what you do on your birthday. But Tim, dude, keep up the great work with your channel. If you ever need me to come in there and curse at you again, just let me know.
I'll badmouth Vancouver and I'll let you respond to that.
I'll come in and, God damn it, Tim, stop already. Yeah, that was a lot of fun to do. It took me mere seconds, and the guy I work with was in the lab when I did that.
Okay.
And he's looking at me like, what are you doing? So I had to explain to him what I was doing. But are I inviting any theists? Should we have a theist in, Tim? What do you think?
I've got no problem. Respectful will be both ways.
Sure. This is one of the DMT guys, though. So, which is
okay.
Yeah, it's all right. I can't. I personally don't think you should take anything to heart when your brain is on a hallucinogen. Right? You can't really call that anything other than I'm on drugs. So,
well, then I'll just get this out of the way and.
What do you got there? Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm with you there, though. But I got all mine stuck in this little can here. So,
all right,
there you go. Because it's legal in Canada, folks. Yay! All right, one of the DMT guys, yeah, of many apparently. Yes, we had a guy call in. Well, Cafe, you were actually probably listening. We had a guy call in talking about DMT too, and I'm sure you heard what I said to the guy. So there you go. All right, so Katie says thanks for having you on. It was my pleasure for sure. Been a fan of his work for some time, so this has been a long time coming. But the live thing isn't too bad, man. Once you get into it,
yeah,
we almost made the full hour. But anyways, guys, we're gonna get into an after party, so let me know if you're interested. And I know that we got the whole COVID thing right now going on. So always be well and be safe, and above all, be kind. And like I always say at the end of these things, like the late, great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. We'll see you guys next time. And if you guys like what I do, there's a link to my Patreon below if you want to become a member. And I also have my Amazon wish list down there. And don't forget about the links for Tim. You can follow him on Twitter and follow him on YouTube. And I highly recommend you do so. So hit those links and click sub and click follow and do all that stuff there. And we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for having me.